The volume builder is the fundamental generator object for the volumetric workflow inside Cinema 4D Release 20. In this video, we will see how to use the volume builder and explain all the parameters in the process. If you are new to volumes, please sign up on Cineversity.com and watch the videos explaining what voxel grids are, what SDFs and fog volumes are, and the fundamentals of the volume mesher. The link is in the description text below. Everything we need to create volumes is in the volume menu. And to begin, we need a volume builder. So the volume builder is green, therefore a generator. So let's create a cube and make it a child of the generator. And immediately you will see a volumized representation of that cube in the viewport. Let's select the volume builder, let's pull this up slightly, and let's see what's going on in the attributes manager in the object tab where everything needs to be. So first of all, we have the volume type, and of course you can see that the cube has been added to that list, but more on that later. In the volume type, we have signed distance field as default and fog as the other type. And I've explained the differences between SDFs and fog volumes in the introductory videos you will find in the link in the description below. Now, as far as the voxel size, this is the parameter that controls how big the voxel is going to be. Now, if I switch this back to signed distance field and untwirl this little arrow, you will see that we have the interior voxel range and the exterior voxel range, and a couple of things we haven't talked about in the introduction videos, which is the spline voxel range and the particle voxel range. These are similar to the exterior voxel range, and for splines and particles there is no support for interior voxel ranges. Now, if I switch my signed distance field to fog, you will see that these values make no sense, and that's why they are deactivated. Excellent. So let me twirl this up and go back to signed distance field. Now here, this little block is the new list that includes all the objects. Now, to make it more clear what we can do here, I'm going to add one more sphere in my scene and make it a child. I'm going to move it out. So now we can see the representation of the cube and the sphere in the viewport in SDF mode. I'm going to select this, and what you will see is that now we have both objects here, and suddenly we have this little submenu populated. As far as the signed distance field is concerned, we have the union mode, which is actually going to create one single object by making this a union, and I can set this to subtract, and it's going to cut a hole in it, just like a normal Boolean operation, and intersect, where it's going to take the intersection of these two and create our volume. This mode does not appear on the lowest object in our list, because there's nothing it can blend with. So this is just like Photoshop, where we have our background layer, and the bottommost object is that essentially a background layer. So let me change it to union. Now, something I want you to pay attention to is the following. You can see that the sphere is on top and the cube is on the bottom, and this is the same over here, but that is just because of the order I added these objects. If the cube was above the sphere, when I select the volume builder, this does not change over here. So the explicit stacking of the objects only takes place in the object list and has nothing to do with the hierarchy we have underneath the volume builder. This is merely to indicate which objects are part of the list. Now let me show you something else now. I'm going to create, let's create a cylinder this time, and I'm going to move it up. Now, I'm not going to add it to the volume builder, but I'm going to select the volume builder and add it to the list. And it's a union again, but you can see that it's not part of the hierarchy. If I select the volume builder, you will see that in the input type, it tells us if an object is a child, in the case of the cube and the sphere, or if it's a link, in the case of the cylinder. What I can do is make it invisible so it doesn't interfere with anything else, and it will still be accepted as we would expect it to. And I can always go and change the order, something that won't make a big difference in this case, and of course change the mode to whatever I want to do. And what you can see here, and if I increase the resolution of my voxel even more, I'll make it 2 centimeters. Now you will see that the cube has the cylinder subtracted. So this is what happens. The cylinder is subtracted. Let me make these invisible so they don't interfere with what I'm doing. Excellent. So now the cylinder is cutting a hole in the cube, and then the sphere is adding itself on top of that. So the order of things here, when we're using modes, makes a big difference, because if I do this, now we have the cube and the sphere creating a single unified object, and then the cylinder punching a hole in both of them. So I can take my cylinder, move it over here, and you will see that it will cut a hole in the union of these two. Fantastic. With these simple concepts out of the way, let's move on to a bit more stuff. Underneath the object list, we have these three: the smooth layer, the reshape layer, and this little folder. I'm going to talk about this later on. For now, just leave it as it is. So let's move further down. We have this override grid matrix, which is part of the volume builder. We will dedicate a special chapter on this because it's used under very specific circumstances. But for now, remember that this, although it appears to be per object, it's not. Anything we drop in here will be consistent for the whole volume builder. And underneath that, we have the update settings. The reason we have these settings, the auto update and the update button, is because volumes can get quite calculation intensive when we're using a lot of objects in there, especially when the voxel size is small, therefore the resolution is high. So in that case, sometimes we can turn off the auto update settings, do whatever modifications we want with the actual objects. I can make them visible now so we can see what we are doing here. You can see that because they are subordinated under their parent generator, you won't be able to see them over here anyway. So only the objects outside that have been linked are visible over here. But anyhow, I'm going to move the cube over there, and you can see nothing changes. That's because now I need to update the volume builder with the new information, which is the new positions, basically. If I click update, that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, for normal setups, modeling and all that, you won't have a problem. You can leave the auto update on at all times. Let me make this invisible, and you can go and you can do your live editing here. But just in case, if it gets a bit too slow, all you have to do is just turn off the update settings and make sure you don't forget to turn it on. One little detail about this little switch is that although it may be off, if you're rendering in the picture viewer, your final render will actually calculate the final state of your volume. This is about the viewport and how you are working. So don't use this to freeze the state of a volume. This is just for preview reasons. Finally, under here, there's some very important information called voxel amount, which tells us the total number of voxels present in this builder. And you can see that the builder is defined by these green lines that indicate the bounding box and the approximate size it takes in memory. So this is just under a megabyte. It's 783 kilobytes large. And what you will see is that if I make this 5, for example, now we only have 46,000 voxels. And don't forget that the increases here are exponential. So every time we halve this, so divided by 2, we quadruple the number of voxels because it's in the third. It's this number multiplied by this number multiplied by this number. Excellent. So now it's time to take a look at what type of objects we can insert inside a volume builder. For this, you'll have to watch the next video.